Babajiro Gusonwo, information consultant, is here to share research facts on social media regulation. Glad to have you join us on the News at 10.
Great to be here. It's a shock that 72 years and died on the same day.
Remarkable.
It's a bigger shock that they didn't write that book, How to Stay Married.
For that number of years.
72 years. That will have been a big sell on social media.
All right, so talking about social media, I want to begin from, that's before we get to the regulation. Is there any evidence that it played a significant role in the U.S. elections 2020?
Oh, that's a lot. There's good news and bad news from the U.S. elections. Even in Nigeria, good and bad news. The bad news is that we now are seeing an infodemic, a rise of infodemic in Nigeria. The good news is we see a decline in the COVID-19 pandemic. But regarding the U.S. elections, what we are seeing regarding social media and what exactly is going on is what is called competing truths. Now, I'll give an example of what competing truths is regarding the social media and the U.S. election. The supporters of Joe Biden said, yes, Joe Biden perhaps has received the highest support in U.S. history, the first presidential candidate to cross the 70 million mark. So Joe Biden has received more than 70 million votes. And so his supporters are saying that goes in the history books. Competing truths. Now, Donald Trump, which is the fact, Donald Trump has also tweeted. He is the first United States president, sitting president, to also cross the 70 million vote mark. So that also shows, that's a fact, competing truth. 4 years ago, Richard Nixon also made his claim that in that election in 1972, he defeated the Democratic candidate George McGovern with 18 million votes. Now, that margin of victory that Richard Nixon got in 1972 is the largest and still remains the largest in the democracy of the United States. And so we've seen 3 stories competing with each other, and they're all truth. And really, that's the summation of the United States election. It is each person bringing out truths that are competing with each other, despite the lots of false and fake news that are also now coming into that mix. So
let's look at Nigeria. Where do some of these social media posts, where do they come from?
So we could look at the growth of mobile phone internet connections in Nigeria, and the Nigerian Communication NCC has provided that information. And if we take a look at that information, here's what you first of all notice is that there are 3 types of communicators we have. We have the advocates that are really bringing out good information. We have misinformers, those that are providing information that isn't accurate, but they're not doing that deliberately. It's a honest mistake. And then we have misleaders, those that are deliberating, putting out a lot of false information. And so clearly, among all the 136 million Nigerians that are connected to the internet with their mobile phones, those are the 3 categories. Those that are advocating, those that are misinforming, and those that are misleading. But here's specific where those tweets and posts are coming from. And if we take a close look at the growth of phones lines that have been connected, here's what you'll notice. The largest growth in the last 3 years has been Lagos. We've seen Lagos add an additional 4 million telephone lines connected to the internet, Kano an additional 4 million, and we see Ogun and Oyo, 2 other states in the southwest. In the north we see Kano, we see Kaduna, we see Katsina. In the south, Rivers and Delta, and in the southeast, Anambra. So these are the top 10 states that account for half of all mobile phones that are connected to the internet in Nigeria. And these are the same 10 states that have seen the highest growth rate in internet connectivity.
So are we seeing spread of fake news related to higher internet penetration?
Yeah, so the evidence shows that compared to 3 years ago, there's higher internet penetration. But what we now need to do as consumers, and even though the government is trying to find, and everybody's concerned about regulating the fake news, is to first of all look at it from the regional perspective. And from a regional perspective, we see that 2 regions, the southwest and the northwest, account for approximately half of all internet users in Nigeria. So we see the southwest, 29% of all internet lines are located in the southwest, and in the Northwest, 19% of all internet users are located in the Northwest. So while it is important that free speech isn't limited, ethical journalism is not restricted, it is that we need to also play, everybody has to play a role. You know what Ronald Reagan said, trust but verify. Earlier this week, we saw that information that was out that the Americans came to pick up a citizen from Nigeria, but that was fake news. The real news, as reported by the United States mission, showed that the kidnapping happened in Niger, not Nigeria. And then the victim came into Nigeria, and with the partnership of Nigeria's intelligence officials, the rescue operation was carried out. So the intelligence shows that it was a partnership between Nigeria and the United States. That is the truth.
Thank
that
you
is
so
the real
much.
news.
I wish we had more time.
Remember,
Thank you for joining us.
Trust, but verify. That is what we do.
Data information consultant. Thank you for joining us on News at 10.